Okay, so for week 2 of fall anime, we got more shows airing, some new shows coming through. So Dr.Stone, really love the first episode of the part 2 of the season. It's like so nice. A lot of the old charm, cliffhangers, making science exciting, having cool antagonists, and having to rise against the odds, fighting with nature and man. Also, after that, there's a new Dragon Ball trailer. Oh, never before seen Dragon Ball Daima. So yes, that's pretty hype. You know, they're skipping the next arc of Super, so this must be good, right? No, they're making him into like Teen Titans Go. They're making them children again. So I wouldn't say it's like GT. It's just who asked for this? So yeah, that's kind of crazy. The animation of the trailer looks like kind of insane. So maybe it'll be like a quick kind of seasonal, like 12 episode thing. But yeah, Dragon Ball Babies. I guess there's an audience for it. I'll be there no matter what. Frieren is also very good. Let me talk about Frieren. So this is episode 6. I'm loving this anime so much. It took this episode for like the whole thing to kind of click for me. Where like, oh, I'm seeing like they're kind of forming their party. We see Stark now, so he's like the red hair dragon slayer. I like him because yeah, he was like a coward, but he's actually kind of strong. So yeah, I love like all these characters, their development. They're not really like annoying or anything. It's just like people living their lives, having genuine reactions and emotions. Basically in episode 6, yeah, we're in episode 6 already. Frieren visits a village, so she was talking to the dwarf Aizen. So yeah, it's like this like red-haired strong human knight who's like kind of known as the Dragon Slayer in this village. So they basically want Stark to join their party, but before they could do that, they want him to kill the dragon because the dragon is still alive. So we see Frieren and Fern were trying to like take some of the dragon's treasure. There might be some valuable spells here. I think the main one is something that can make you look through clothes. And Fern doesn't want to handle the dragon. She's so scared, so they rely on Stark. But we realize that Stark is a huge fraud. So yeah, he has never fought a single monster. Which is very funny, but like actually he's so strong. Like he can cut a cliff in half, like a whole mountainside. So, this man is strong but scared. So kind of like a Zenitsu type of character, but he's not as annoying. And anyway, yeah, we have to like kind of give him confidence. Frieren basically tells him you need to distract the dragon for 30 seconds. Fern also talks to him at night, gets some like background on what happened to him. So basically he was like really strong, like he was training with Aizen the dwarf, but then one day Aizen kind of punched him in the face. And then they stopped talking, and then now, yeah, he hasn't seen his master since. But yeah, they were always good growing up together, and then now, yeah, he's on his own, but he hasn't, like, fought any monsters, even though he's, like, super strong. So basically, the next day, Stark, he mans up, he joins Frieren, and then they go try to kill the dragon. So it's kind of like this big red scaly dragon, kind of huge. He can probably breathe fire and shit, but yeah, basically Stark is kind of distracting him, running away, and then he actually grabs onto the dragon's face as they're like flying. So this was kind of like an insane scene where yeah, Stark was just like trying not to fall off, but then he actually kind of like murks the dragon and actually kills him. And he didn't even realize that he killed the dragon. So yeah, good job, bro. He just soloed that shit. So yeah, Frieren kind of like set him up for success. Basically gave him confidence and told him that yeah, you have the skills, you just need the experience. And yeah, now that he killed the first dragon, he's happy. Now he can leave the village, join Frieren on her adventures. And then Frieren learns the spell on how to like look through clothing, which is kind of boring. So Fern takes the spell, she like looks at Stark's dick and it's like, that's pretty small. But yeah, now like our team is kind of assembled and they're go to like the Demon Lord's castle area. This is very nice. I like the way they're doing it, where this party they're assembling is basically Frieren's old party, and it's basically made up of the apprentices of the older people. But yeah, there's no Himmel here, so yeah, Himmel died single, I think, which is kind of sad. But I guess the whole point of this journey is to see Himmel's spirit. The problem is they go to another village up north, and the checkpoint to go through is kind of like filled with monsters, like remnants of the Demon Lord's forces. So it's actually closed down, and they're not letting anyone through for like at least 2 years. Frieren is like all chill, like okay, I guess there's no choice. We just gotta look around our town, bide our time, do some more magical research. Fern is so mad. She's like, we gotta do something because as time passes, we're not gonna get any younger, and this journey is just gonna take a long ass time. So she kind of urges Stark to like, you know, find a way to like kind of sneak out, maybe like go underground black market, maybe ask some of the merchants to like ship them through. But yeah, it all fails. It's all just like locked down. You can't even fly through because there's like a big ass magical barrier. So basically Fern is just stressed, but then yeah, she keeps talking to Stark. So basically Stark also wants to go on adventures so he can kind of make up with Aizen and exchange stories with him. So basically after all of this dooming by Fern, they actually have a way to go through. So yeah, like the kind of mayor of the city, he sees Frieren and is like, you're the girl that was part of the heroes party that saved the whole world. Yo, you can go through the checkpoint. Oh, you're here to kill the monsters, right? So yeah, it was very cute seeing Frieren trying to reluctantly get out of this. But now Fern and Stark have a way to go through. So yeah, everyone, they kind of spent just like one day in this town, and they went through the checkpoint. We don't have to wait 2 more years. So I love Frieren's resolve, just getting PTSD every time like they have to wait somewhere, time passes. So I'm having fun so far. This episode was the one that made the show like really click for me. It's very unique. Also, like they're not spamming a lot of monsters at you, but when there's like a big monster or dragon, the fight feels very significant. So yeah, all of that is nice. And yeah, Frieren continues. Also, after that, I'm gonna talk about Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, episode 12. Loving this season. This my boy Nanami, like Mappa, making him buff, making him so mad. I loved it so much. So this is what happened. Nanami kind of like starts the episode telling us about like his internal monologue, how he basically doesn't really get angry. Life is life. He's just like kind of doing things. But he remembers Haibara, his like kind of partner when they were younger. And yeah, he died. That was like the one time Nanami kind of snapped. And now this second time is Ichichi. He got stabbed by like the dude with the sword and the kind of markings on his face. So basically that dude kind of fucked up because he got Nanami mad. We see a lot of other stuff happening in this episode as well. So a lot of groups in Shibuya are kind of split up doing their own thing, kind of fighting off monsters. So yeah, basically right now we see Toji. He is kind of resurrected, but basically she only brings their body information, not the soul information. But Toji is special. His body is stronger than your soul, bitch. So he kind of like takes over control. He beats up the grandmother, and now he's just like gonna do his own thing. We have no idea, but whoever sees Toji is gonna get fucked up. But after that, we see Ino. He kind of got punched off the building. Megumi kind of like shields his fall with Nue, and then Yuji grabs his body, and he's still alive. So yeah, we have Megumi kind of like rescuing him. So basically Megumi and Yuji are splitting up. Megumi's gonna bring Ino to safety. And then after that, some other shit happens. So it's the Nobara fight with this like random dude. So yeah, he's the guy that stabbed Ichichi and the one that Nanami's hunting down. So yes, Nobara got low diffed this episode. It was very embarrassing. But I mean, Mappa did add some stuff for like the Mortal Kombat X-ray. They showed that she got like caught off guard. So I guess that gives her like an excuse. But basically, yeah, she can't like hit this guy with her hammer. She's throwing nails. He's just running away. She's also trying to like save Nita because Nita's getting chased down and stabbed. And Nobara's kind of like somewhat knocked out. She's trying to like recover. But yeah, basically this dude's like styling on her. And yeah, as they're kind of fighting, Nanami comes in. The music was so intense, slow-paced, just showing him walking, and he breaks down the glass door. Nanami is so angry. What are the numbers and locations of your allies? And then the dude doesn't respond. He tries to attack Nanami, kicks Nanami, but Nanami's literally like a brick wall. He's on overtime mode as well, and then he's just super mad. Mappa did a good job showing him buff, pulling the hair of the guy, and basically kills him like 5 times over, like punches him in the face with the kind of critical strike technique. It was very sick. So yeah, that was interesting. I don't think he's dead though, because his curse technique seems to like revive him. So yeah, he has markings on his face. A lot of them are disappeared. Nanami kind of like leaves Nobara and Nita to go rescue other people. He tells Nobara, bitch, you got low diffed. Your ass is being left behind. So yeah, Nobara's a bit sad. But I mean, what can you do? There's like special grade spirits out here. We need to make sure the students don't get bodied. Also after that, we see Mei confronting Geto. He's trying to like figure things out. Oh, who is this Geto? Because she doesn't know that he's the brain guy. But she does realize that he is like somewhat of an imposter. And then he summons special grade curse smallpox. So yes, the smallpox demon is here. A bit unexpected. And then he's like, if you can fight the smallpox demon, I'll fight you. So he walks away. So yes, my thick, greedy queen. She's been pretty badass this whole season. And yeah, she's fighting this dude. And it's kind of insane because he instantly starts the fight with domain expansion. So Mei's kind of like trapped in this guaranteed hit, which seems to like put her in a coffin and have a rock fall on her. And she almost died, but then she kind of like uses her axe and her strength to like break through the coffin and the rock. So yeah, basically a lot of fights going on. The Shibuya incident continues. So yeah, I really loved it. The highlight of this episode, of course, was Nanami. Him being so badass. I will never forget it. So yeah, Mappa doing my boy justice. And I saw this joke online. It's not my own joke, but it's pretty much the overworked animators at Mappa can really relate to Nanami. He's their hero. But yeah, that is it for Jujutsu Kaisen this week. Also, let's talk about Dr. Stone. New World Part 2. So yes, this is episode 1 of the new season. It's very nice because we left off on a kind of cliffhanger thing. Senku and the squad, they discovered platinum. It was left by Senku's dad, which was very emotional because he spent like years literally sifting for like little bits of platinum because he can't really create it. And he realized that Senku might need rare minerals on like his quest when he wakes up. So basically, yeah, Senku and his dad kind of planned it out, and they do have like materials to make a lot of cool shit. So right now they have like the nitric acid to make like unlimited revival fluid. And now they're kind of trying to rescue more people, so if their like squad kind of grows bigger. So it's not all smooth sailing though, because we see like in the ship where all the people are, their bodies are being thrown into the ocean, the rock people. So our squad, they're just like crumbling and falling into ocean. It's kind of sick. How are we gonna like save them? Well, basically we have to dive down and just rescue them because we can always just like glue their bodies together, I guess. The problem is this anime does take liberties. It is realistic at times and is kind of like fantasy crazy at times. So they're taking a realistic approach here. The people cannot breathe underwater. So yeah, Senku needs to make like this kind of oxygen tank, which is kind of sick. Like a real ass, like a whole ass kind of scuba diving device to kind of help people dive down and search. Oh, also before they do that, they rescue Rusui. So yeah, they saw that his body was being like paraded around. And then Kohaku actually punches the statue because everyone else was kind of dismantling it. So she cleanly punches it so no one knows that she's a traitor. And then they kind of like ship the broken pieces off to Senku, which is kind of funny. But basically right now they have Soyuz and Roisui as the muscle to try to rescue the stone statues. And yeah, they start like pumping air into the oxygen tanks. It takes a lot of work. Also, Suika's there to make sure like it doesn't overheat. So everyone's just like pumping for hours, and after like a bunch of time, they have 2 oxygen tanks with 10 minutes each. So it's 10 minutes, that is not a lot. So yeah, the race is on, they're kind of diving down. Their goal right now is to rescue Kasuki because he's the kind of old man that can craft things. So if they rescue him, then they can make more stuff to rescue more people, make more oxygen tanks and shit. So that's their goal. Soyuz and Roisui do find him, but he's stuck in the bottom of the ocean in this like kind of mud pit. So it was like kind of intense. I was like, damn, what are they gonna do? So basically Roisui uses Morse code on their like kind of safety rope. He asks Senku to drop down the revival fluid, and their goal is to revive Taiju underwater and have him pull up Kasuki's stone body. So basically they rescue Taiju. It was kind of insane because they have to like angle this revival fluid, put it through air so it kind of makes contact with his stone body. And then Soyuz kind of gets his arm because Taiju's arm also fell off. So yeah, all of that was clutch. They rescue Taiju. Taiju understands the situation immediately. He takes like one breath. He shares the kind of oxygen tank. And after that, they rescue the old man's body. It kind of reminded me of the scene in the beginning of season 1 with Senku rescuing Kohaku with some kind of pulley device. So yeah, I really love the tension here. And yeah, it was kind of unexpected because they got a 2-for-1 rescue. So yeah, Dr. Stone continues. This first episode, very solid. More stuff's probably going to happen. Okay, so for Undead Unluck episode 2, really loving this anime. Action scenes are nice, story's definitely unique. Following Andy and Fuuko together, I don't know if like what's gonna happen to them. Judging by this episode, a lot of crazy shit's gonna happen because I thought they'd be on the run, which they are because they're negators, and then the kind of CIA's hunted them down or whatever. But basically Fuuko realizes that the dudes hunted them down. It's this guy Shen and this guy Void. They also have powers. So why can't Fuuko and Andy join them? So basically there's this group called the Round Table. It consists of 10 superpowered people, 10 negators. And basically they work for the government to like, do missions underground, whatever. In exchange, they can live with powers, not get experimented on or arrested. The problem is the Round Table is full. So Andy and Fuuko realize, yo, what if we kill both of y'all? So yeah, it's pretty much a superpowered fight. Fuuko, she's kind of like very squishy. Like these dudes can easily kill her, so it is very scary for her. But Andy, he can kind of fly around, you cut his limbs off. He's just like using his blood as rockets and just like punching people. So these guys have pretty interesting powers, I guess. So Void, his power kind of like paralyzes you. And then Shen, his power makes you do the opposite of what you want to do. So if you want to run away, you're actually like walking to him. Andy kind of tries to fight Void. Thing is, Void's like super powered and armored, so his kind of flesh powered punches don't really affect him too much. So yeah, he relies on Fuuko. Fuuko kind of gets an opportunity to grab Andy, and then after he touches her twice, there's like a big wave of unluckiness. So yeah, one of them, a truck kind of barrels down because they're on a bridge. And then another one, like the building they kind of fall into, just gets blown up. There's like dynamite in there, so I guess it's like set to be demolished. So yeah, a lot of like chaos here. Like everyone's still alive, but then Andy kind of like shows that he has finger guns. He can cut his finger off and use that flesh as like a bullet. And basically just kind of like shoots Void in the head and kills him. So yeah, that's one member of the Round Table dead. We need one more, and then Fuuko and Andy can both join. Problem is, Shen, he seems to be a main character. He seems to have some type of plot armor. So yeah, he's kind of like this muscular, blue-haired guy. And then yeah, his power's like opposites reverse. So basically if he looks at you, you can't really attack him at all. So I guess it's kind of easy to circumvent his power, just don't look at him. Or maybe like throw projectiles or something that ricochet at him. Or he could have just Fuuko try to blow him up. And then he invites Fuuko to the Round Table. Andy says he was going to sacrifice himself. So yeah, the episode ends there. A pretty intense fight. And then, story's going. So I think our next destination is to go to Russia, actually. Because in Russia, they have to kind of kill another member of the Round Table. So yeah, anime continues. We're doing more crazy shit. Alright, now for Shield Hero Season 3, Episode 2. Nafumi, he's on a mission. He gotta buy the slaves, so he has to win on this underground fight tournament. This episode was okay, but it kind of had some flaws, like the typical kind of shield hero, or not even shield hero, just like fantasy story writing, where like a lot of characters are kind of dumb, a lot of plot contrivances, coincidence, other shit like that. So basically they're fighting this girl Sadina, kind of like the hot blue aesthetic booba girl that was her flirting with Naofumi. And basically she kind of warns him about like the dangers of this tournament, stuff like that. Basically, long story short, as they're fighting, it's kind of Naofumi, Raftalia, Philo versus Nadia in the finals. And then Raftalia actually recognizes her. So yeah, apparently they're from the same village. Sadina was like a bit older. And what the dumb part is that they have the same goal. She also wants the prize money to buy the slaves. So yeah, I guess that was a bit convenient, I guess. But I mean, it does make them kind of become allies. So yeah, the fight scene, the animation was like kind of sick, actually. I liked it. But anyway, Sadina turns into like this kind of killer whale, which I thought was very cool. Like, our waifu is now like this big muscular killer whale with boobs. But then Naofumi with his shield powers, Raftalia and Philo fight back and they beat her. So that was cool, but then the higher ups, they're kind of rigging the tournament. They don't want it to end like this. So they kind of have them fight this like mysterious puppet master girl. These people all seem to be like some type of like superpowered hero. So Raftalia uses like dragon breath, electric breath or something to like attack them. But besides that, they win the fight, get the prize money. I guess they'll buy the slaves. And then yeah, I guess the plot moves on. Also for Goblin Slayer Season 2, Episode 2, this episode was a bit sad. I kind of liked it. More goblin fighting, more dungeon crawling, people are dying, we're saving women, are getting attacked by these goblins. I saw some complaints on this episode where the source material readers are like, they definitely nerfed the violence, they nerfed the torture they did to all these girls. So yeah, you can kind of notice that. I mean, I have no problem with it really, the source material does exist. And there were a lot of complaints on Season 1 on how graphic and tasteless a lot of these kind of like goblin torture rape scenes are. But basically this episode, the priestess, she's leading her party herself. So the Goblin Slayer isn't the leader anymore, it's the priestess. And they're also going with the little mage boy. And their goal right now is that there's like these catacombs where some adventurers explored, but they never came back. So there's like kind of 4 people missing. So they all kind of go into the dungeon. It is overtaken by goblins. So yeah, Goblin Slayer doing what he does best, killing the goblins. We see all the party kind of doing it carefully. So the priestess is calling the shots. And then they're going room by room. And then they kill the goblins and try to save the hostages. So as they kind of do this slowly, we see the goblins are setting up traps. Some people have been murdered here. And the little mage boy is a bit scared. And then he's panicking actually that when he hears like this girl screaming, he actually runs after, tries to rescue her. And then that's the one thing Goblin Slayer told us not to do. Don't split up, don't run, don't panic, because if you go deeper into Goblin's nest, then you're falling right into their trap. So he kind of runs in, he sees this girl kind of nailed onto a chair, which is pretty rough and brutal. Also, her clothing was ripped. So yeah, the little mage boy, he's panicking, and then he kind of launches a fire spell at one of the goblins. And then he hits it, but it seems to barely have any effect. And also, there's like maybe 50 plus goblins here, plus a troll. So yeah, this troll is actually really strong. It was kind of unexpected, but he is weak to fire. So that was one mistake the mage boy kind of made, where he should have used fire on the troll instead of the goblin, because fire is actually pretty effective. But yeah, anyway, he's kind of overwhelmed. But yeah, the party come in, rescue him, of course. Goblin Slayer doing what he does best. The priestess, I kind of felt bad for her, because since the situation kind of escalated, she's not the leader anymore. Goblin Slayer has taken over. And basically, they all kind of kill most of the goblins. We see the archer girl throwing arrows. The lizard man kind of rushing people with his daggers. So yeah, everything's like going well so far. They're killing the goblins. It was also funny seeing Goblin Slayer just like picking up weapons. I really love that about him. This man is literally me in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But pretty much after all of this, we see the troll is just way too strong. They do rescue the girl and the little mage boy, and then they kind of like go deeper into the dungeon. They kill most of the goblins, kind of set them on fire. Goblin Slayer, he has like poisons and other stuff in his tool bag. And then yeah, everyone's kind of like resting, healing up, drinking potions. Finally, they do get cornered by the troll, but then Goblin Slayer, he has a plan. So he asks the priestess to do her like kind of solar flare attack, and then he has like a bag of ice. So he kind of freezes the troll, and then after stunning him, they kind of shatter his head. So yeah, problem solved there. But yeah, this kind of situation escalated because of the annoying ass kid. But I have no problem with it, because this is just in line with the series. Like, if you're a novice adventurer, you don't really take goblins too seriously. And then yeah, that's like your downfall right there. And it's also very sad, because as they're kind of like resting in the inn, talking about like the aftermath, we realize why the little kid hates goblins. So it's pretty obvious. I thought someone in his family, like his parents, like got killed by goblins. But it was actually his older sister, and then she was the one in the first episode that got stabbed by goblins and poisoned. She was the mage with the red spiky hair. I was so devastated. Because yeah, the priestess couldn't heal her because she was poisoned. They were just like vastly unprepared. She got stabbed so many times and died. But yeah, basically this little kid, his logic is a bit bad, because he's like, okay, if you die to goblins, people make fun of you. I need to kill goblins, they're weak, blah, blah, blah. But then he's kind of insulting his sister, right? Can't you acknowledge that goblins can be strong in numbers and he had to be careful? He'll definitely get character development to make him better. He just gotta learn. But basically, the fact that they reminded me of the older sister was just a lot. Like, seeing the priestess was like traumatized and sad now, like she was like in a better headspace, but now everyone got reminded on their failures. Goblin Slayer as well, he is still human. He's like literally crying. He's so sad because even though he can kill all these goblins, there's no point if people are still suffering, he can't save everybody. So he kind of like cries in a corner of an alley, takes his helmet off. I get it, the little boy, he is annoying, but like this is a good story point. We'll probably see more of him as the season continues. Okay, so for the 100 girlfriends that really, 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 really love you. So yeah, we're on episode 2. This anime continues to be like such a great harem show. The jokes land very funny, seeing like everything how it's going. We got like the tsundere character, we got the big booba like lovesick character. All of them and the main dude are coming together to have a fulfilling relationship, I guess. So yeah, they kind of like walk to school together, they hold hands. Everyone's so embarrassed and shy, but they're also kind of like destined, they're soulmates, so they gotta do it this way. Rentaro, he kind of like calls them by their first name, and they're like, oh, the weather is nice. They can't even think of other things to say. So yeah, Hakari, Kairane, they all love him, and yeah, they going to school together, call each other their names, and then the big thing that happens. They need their first kiss. They want to kiss him because this is his first relationship, so it's very important. So it's a big competition. Who's gonna kiss him? So they kind of like try to trick him. They're like eating Pocky together or like trying to give him CPR and like abusing him. So yeah, no, it doesn't really end up that well. So yeah, after like a big fight, they realize, okay, what if we blindfold each other? Rentaro devised this plan. So then he kind of doesn't know who he's kissing. The other two people don't know who's getting kissed first, and it's like a big secret, but they all get kissed, so problem solved, right? The thing is, if everyone is blindfolded, they all just bump into each other. Rentaro's just groping them, and then they're just like clotheslining him, German suplexing him. So yeah, the plan's not that good. We see there's like this like kind of crazy ass teacher that also like kisses you, so that was weird. But also after that, they just realized we can do the easy option. All three of us kiss each other at the same time. Yes, this is the true mark of the harem. They all put their lips together. They kind of like didn't show it, but yeah, they all kiss each other. It's a bit embarrassing because the girls also like kind of kiss each other as well. So yeah, it is what it is, problem solved. A good second episode. We're continuing the anime. Also, end of the episode, there's 100 girls, so we got to introduce more. New girl comes in. She's like this really short girl he meets at the library, so I guess she'll be added to the harem. Okay, so for Tokyo Revengers Season 3, Episode 2. Yes, anime continues. It was a bit dumb, but it was a bit powerful too, I guess, kind of emotional. So here, Takamichi, he realizes that Kisaki does have time powers. So Shifuyu tells Takamichi, bro, just go to the future, get more information, see like what happens right now, and then come back. So yeah, he goes into the church, actually, the one where they fought in the Christmas showdown, and he sees Taiju. Yes, that big muscular dude. He still has the kind of blue and whitish hair. But yeah, now he's grown up, so he's a bit more mellowed out, but you still don't want to fuck with him. So yeah, he talks to Takamichi, decides to, tell him about his brother, because his brother did die. So yeah, he kind of wants revenge on Hakai, that's why he's helping Takamichi, and then he tells Takamichi what happened with the Manji gang, because yeah, the gang kind of died down. They lost the gang war against Kurokawa's gang. Also in the present time, he learns from Naoto that Kisaki is dead. But then Taiju tells him that Kisaki ain't dead, he faked his death. This mysterious dude Kurokawa, no one really knows too much about him. So before learning more, we see Kurokawa's kind of gang mates teaming up and then trying to fight Taiju in a restaurant. So at this point, I was like, Takamichi, why don't you go back into the past right now? So you don't have to get into any fights, you don't have to mess with anyone here. But then Taiju's like, okay, just leave, I'll handle this, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he gave Takamichi the information. He's like, oh, avenge Hakai's death. And if that wasn't bad enough, we see Kisaki brandishing a gun and almost shooting Takamichi in the head. But then he gets rescued by Naoto. So then yeah, they're just like, their life is in danger. I'm like expecting this anytime they're in the future, like this gang violence is still happening. So Takamichi better be careful. But yeah, he was like so reckless here. Even after Naoto like took the bullet, got shot, he's still alive. So I'm like, Takamichi, you can shake his hand at any time, bro. Like, I'm waiting. But instead, Takamichi also gets shot by his friend Kaku. So, yes, they're both dying, bleeding out, but then, yeah, their arms are next to each other, so they shake hands. It took so long. I'm like, you literally just shake hands right now. Why are you waiting? So, yeah, that was, like, the painful part, but yeah, they do shake hands, so it wasn't really that sad. Takamichi goes back in the past. I guess the main thing we learn here now is that this Tenjiku gang kind of runs shit now in the future. So I guess he can't time leap anymore until he like actually solves the timeline right now and then changes that spawn point into the future. But basically this episode was kind of painful because I was like, yo, Takemichi, you can literally shake hands with Naoto at any time. You don't have to get shot down. But yeah, besides that, I guess we learned some things, but not the whole picture yet. So it's still like an uphill battle. Okay, and now for our dating story, episode 2. Yes, the romance continues. Very cute, wholesome. We see Ryuto. He's basically insecure this episode because of course he is. He just doesn't think he deserves Runa. She's like very positive. Everyone knows she's like the hottest girl in the school. People love her. But anyway, like the relationship does go on. They kind of like set up boundaries. He's like, okay, let's not kind of meet each other at school. It's a bit awkward. And yeah, basically they establish date plans. So yeah, Ryuto is just like so scared. He's like, a date? Really? Me? What the hell? What do I do? So it's like very awkward and scared. They still text each other and then they have a video call to kind of like set things up. This anime is just so painful to watch for me. I literally get sick watching this anime because of how unrealistic it feels. I know it doesn't have to be realistic. It can be like kind of a self-insert, like impossible fantasy. I do like how both people are growing emotionally, kind of like discovering things about themselves. But yeah, Runa's just like way too nice and cute and wholesome. Also, Ryuto, he really has nothing going for him. But I mean, in this episode, it's revealed that he likes sports cars, so he's kind of like obsessed with them. And he kind of talks a lot about them, so that's the one thing he's passionate in. So yeah, Luna actually finds that very cute. She's like, oh, I haven't seen you talk this much about anything. Also, yeah, this trope was used in Rent a Girlfriend as well, where Kazuya, he loves fish, he loves the aquarium. So yeah, I guess they copied from peak romance. I'm gonna keep watching for a bit because I do enjoy the kind of like wholesome romance story. But goddamn, I have to repeat it every week. Runa is just so unrealistic. We see there's kind of like a cool plot twist where Ryuto's kind of childhood friend that he like admitted he had a crush on, she transfers into his class. So I guess there's gonna be a love triangle. Wow. Alright, so for Arknights Perish in Frost episode 2. Episode was very insane actually. I loved it. Frost Nova is here. She makes an impression. She's just fighting with Amiya and the squad. They don't really have anywhere to go. All their communications are frozen and just have to survive. So they kind of just like run around. We see Meteorite kind of fighting back. We see Amiya throwing a shit ton of magic. They're all really tired. They have frostbite. They're cold. And then, yeah, they're trying to find a way to escape. Jessica's also, like, very traumatized. So we see Amiya kind of, like, using her power to, like, absorb Jessica's fear. And basically the highlight in this episode, as they're fighting Frost Nova going, like, phase 2, shooting black ice everywhere, singing this lullaby while fucking people up. It was so insane. Literally blasting everyone. Amiya's just like trying to deflect all these attacks. Everyone's frozen. We see Frostleaf trying to fight back as well. She has ice powers. So yeah, she kind of like sacrifices herself pretty much, but then they still want to rescue her. Basically, they do find a weakness in Frost Nova's ice. Then the heat kind of gets released and then the ice melts. So basically, through impossible circumstances, they do survive while she's throwing black ice everywhere. And then, yeah, everyone kind of gets away. But yeah, they're all still, like, very tired and wary. Also, after that, we see Tallulah. She's invading Lungmen in the meantime. So the squad, Amiya, the doctor, they have to help out, even though they're, like, so severely injured. And pretty much these first 2 episodes covered all of, like, chapter 4, basically. So I guess we have 6 more episodes to cover chapters 5 and 6. It might be 3 episodes each, might be, like, 4 and 2, we'll see. But yeah, I really love the pacing of this anime. Like, each episode seems to, like, be very interesting, have some kind of highlight. I loved hearing Frost Nova sing the lullaby. I love seeing Amiya fight back, the shooting, blasting magic. So this anime continues to be very fire as the fighting has just begun. Alright, so for Tearmoon Empire episode 2, another solid episode. I love the kind of like cute kingdom building, typical, you know, fix the finances, help out the poor people. All of that happens in this episode. Basically, Mia, her first goal is to recruit Ludwig because he's the guy managing all the finances. So yeah, if you fix the finances, that's a big part of the kingdom's problems repaired. The problem is, as she recruits him, she kind of like copies the lines that she remembered him telling her in the past and just repeats that to him, and he's like, oh shit, this princess is actually cooking, like she's smart. Maybe if we follow her, then we'll have a chance to fix everything. So yeah, she kind of like flexes a bit too hard. Now everyone's kind of listening to her. I guess the one excuse she has is that she's really young, so not many people will listen to her, so she needs a lot of like consultants around her to help her. So yeah, basically she has Anne the maid and Ludwig the financial advisor. And after some time passes, they like fix a lot of the kingdom's finances, all the kind of reckless spending. The problem is, as Mia looks in her diary, things have not changed yet. So just because the finances are good, she's still set to die. So yeah, the next thing to fix is that there's going to be disease spreading. So yeah, they don't really have medicine to cure it, but they can build hospitals. The first step Mia does is to kind of visit like the slums, build more hospitals, have more like food supplies. It's very nice seeing like Mia care about all the poor people. So a lot of the higher ups are also contributing money to this. So yeah, that's how they get funding to build like hospitals in the slums, kind of improve conditions, get more access to food. And 2 episodes in, it feels like we already solved the problem. Like literally everything is good right now. Everyone thinks Mia is a saint. And yeah, I guess there might be some other problems coming in, like basically outside foreign countries trying to attack them. So yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. Maybe some of the characters are gonna be like hostile to her, and she has to like kind of be friends with these people. Oh, also after that, we see Anne's little sister. It was kind of cool because she's like an author, and then when Mia was stuck in her prison cell, Anne was actually telling Mia the story that her sister wrote her. But then the problem is the story never finished because the sister died. So right now Mia kind of hires the sister. It was very good. I love the kind of emotional parts in the story. All right, and now for Spy Family season 2, episode 2. Yeah, this episode was cute. We just see a quick story of Bond and a quick story about Damien. So kind of 2 parts in this anime. It was a bit boring, I have to admit. Like, it was definitely very wholesome, and then there's gonna be big arcs coming up in the future. But this episode really wasn't my thing because I thought the jokes were a bit too repetitive. Yeah, we get a her cooking bad, but then yeah, they kind of emphasize it here. Bond, he sees that he might die in the future, and so basically kind of like chases after Lloyd because if Lloyd cooks the dinner. So I guess that was cool, but yeah, I thought the jokes are a bit too repetitive. After that, there was a scene with Damien, him and his squad to kind of like go camping. I guess that's what the rich people in the school need to learn, how to survive in the outdoors. It's kind of like a wholesome adventure with him and his squad. I'm kind of going boating, trying to like eat fish. So yeah, it was a bit unexpected, but yeah, this episode was definitely a bit boring for me. But anime does continue. There's gonna be interesting arcs coming in the future, hopefully. All right, so for Eminence and Shadow season 2, episode 2. So very cool episode. We learn more about like what these vampires are doing. So yeah, we see the vampire hunter. She kind of meets up with Shadow's sister, and they're kind of like going into the castle to rescue him. And then we realize from the vampire hunter that just like the vampire queen, and then these people are trying to resurrect her, use her power. There's kind of like a big sad story on how like she wanted her and the vampires to coexist with humans. But thing is, she was way too powerful and bloodthirsty that she couldn't like control herself. So one day she did succumb to like drinking blood, and then she kind of went on a rampage, killed all of the people in her kingdom. And she felt so bad about it that Mary, the vampire hunter, kind of killed her. But then the thing is, yeah, she kind of really die, so her spirit is still alive, kind of. It's like trapped in like this object. And yeah, the vampires kind of want to revive her for her power. The sister and Mary go fight the Juggernaut, who's like way too strong. So he kind of punches Claire in the face, the sister, but then she actually kind of like gets up. But then Shadow actually shows up and rescues them. And then he kind of like fights them in the speed of light and then runs away so no one really sees him. So I guess a good job by Shadow. Also after that, he kind of like interferes with the vampire's resurrection plan. He just drops into the roof, explodes everything, and he's probably going to show up to kill him. We'll see. But really digging this anime, just like classic Shadow doing Shadow things, being overpowered, while everyone else is just like being so serious, like working on their plans and like, fighting back. Also, after that, we'll talk about Ragna Crimson, episode 3. I really like this anime. This is like very solid fantasy show. I really love the emotions here. I really love Crimson, so we see more of her this episode. She's kind of like an immortal dragon lord, and yeah, she basically wants to die. But yeah, they have to kill all of these superior dragons first. So we see the wind dragon. His name is Tempest Cell, and he's pretty sadistic. He's really bored and just like likes to torture people with his wind powers. Just has like all these women surrounded, suspended in the air, just like their skin getting cut up. The thing is, Ragna, he killed a lot of these dragons with his powers, and his muscles are very sore, so he keeps collapsing. So now he's just like stuck here for 3 days. So Crimson's out here. She's like, what if we armed the civilians? There are survivors that are fighting back, but they don't have the power to beat the superior dragons. They don't have like Ragna's like ice technique. So they basically use Ragna's silver battle arts to kind of imbue guns. They have literal machine guns here. So yeah, the technology is kind of baffling. I thought this was like a fantasy world, but they do have guns and cars. And basically these bullets are ice powered by Ragna's body. So yeah, she's kind of training these people to fight against the dragon. We see Crimson, her goals are a bit deceiving. She's definitely morally gray because she doesn't really care about like humans living or dying. She just wants to kill the dragons. So killing the dragons is a good thing, but she's kind of misleading these humans, and their lives are definitely at risk. But basically she has like a small group of people fighting back against this Tempest Cell. So we'll see what's gonna happen, but I really like Crimson's character. I like how she's technically evil, but doing it in a good way. And I also like how she's teaching the people how to fight back, because that's actually like pretty useful. We see Ragna, he can't be everywhere at once, so yeah, have the normal people be able to fight the dragons off as well. All right, and now for Shy episode 2. Didn't really like this episode too much. It was okay, like the anime continued, but Like the villain is kind of generic, I guess. So yeah, we see the girl that Shy failed to rescue. She kind of transferred into Shy's school, and then we see like her leg is injured, like her knee got broken, so she's like walking with crutches, and it's like very painful for her. But then she like doesn't really have any hard feelings about Shy. So yeah, that's all good. You know, Shy was very insecure. She's like, oh, I failed to save this girl, but she's like still very positive and happy. So yeah, after Shy kind of leaves her alone, this dude kind of takes control of her body and like unlocks her heart. So it's kind of like a bit generic plot line, but yeah, like humans have evil in their heart, they're locking back. So yeah, I guess like he's releasing their negative emotions, and now they just turn into like evil type of monsters. Shai, we also see that she can like teleport people, so she teleports her out of the school. They're fighting kind of outside. She's in so much pain, and then she's just like attacking, being evil. We also see like in her backstory the reason that she told Shai to save her for last during the like amusement park ride. So she feels like she's bad luck. Everyone's basically saving her, and she can't really save anyone herself. So that's like a lot of trauma she's feeling. She's like, oh, it should have been them, not me. But then Shai kind of saves her. She takes off like the binding, the evil ring in her heart, and now she's back to normal. So yeah, I guess we see what the villain is. He's just making people turn into evil demons. But then Shai's using her kindness to kind of like sympathize with the people and make them feel better. All right, and now for Stardust Telepath, episode 1. This is like a cute girls doing cute things anime. So yeah, it just started airing. I like it, but there's some problems with it. Mainly the main character. She's kind of like Bochi the Rock. Her name is Umika, and she can't like communicate with anyone. And she basically loves aliens. She's like, oh, if I can't communicate with humans, maybe I can talk to aliens because they can listen to me telepathically. I don't have to talk. I'm like, bitch, you are deluded. Because just because you can't talk to humans, what makes you think anything's gonna change if you see an alien? You're just gonna be the same, just like timid. So basically, Umika is kind of like a shy girl, kind of like Komi-san, kind of like Bochi the Rock. Nothing's really wrong. She can make friends, but it's just like so hard for her to communicate with people. But then yeah, one day an alien comes into her classroom. The alien is like this pink-haired girl named Yu, and no one really believes that she's an alien. So yeah, I guess it's just like, you know, what do you expect? It's not, don't really take it too seriously. Just like, you know, funny girls, random premise. So yeah, the thing is, Umiko still can't communicate with her. You know, the problem is there. But yeah, Yu has a thing where she can telepathically feel your emotions if she puts her forehead on your forehead. So yes, I guess that's where the Yuri relationship starts. They have the skinship. But yeah, after a lot of like deliberation this episode, they do become friends. We see that Yu's living in this lighthouse, but she has no memory of her past life since she arrived on Earth. Umika kind of promises Yu that she's gonna make a rocket for her. And yeah, I guess the anime continues. Very cute premise. Bochi the Rock is definitely better, don't at me. But you know, cute girls doing cute things. I'm definitely gonna watch this pretty slowly. I like the wild kind of premise, but still like grounded in reality because these are just like girls going to school. All right, and now I'll talk about these other shows very quickly. So first one is 16-Bit Sensation. So yeah, it's episode 2. I really liked it, kind of cute. The main part we see is like Konoha. She's very animated, and she wants to work at this video game company because she has nowhere else to go really. But also she doesn't know how to use like the old school kind of technology. That's kind of like basically paint. She has to like hand draw with the mouse. I've been there, girl. It's very hard. So she doesn't have like her tablet and stylus. The thing is, like, she does have her tablet, she can't charge it. I'm like, girl, can you bring your charger, maybe carry it around with you? But anyway, she's like kind of painting on the computer. They're basically scanning like the penciled in art and then filling that in, and they only have 16 colors to kind of like make this whole art piece. So yeah, they're doing all of these techniques. It's kind of cool if you like kind of the old school type of techniques. I mean, these are still used like today, kind of using limited colors or pixel art. But basically, yeah, it's anime's cute. We see Konoha was struggling, but she's taking her time learning, and then the main guy in the video game story is kind of like tutoring her. Also, after that, after they're celebrating, we see Konoha kind of falls down, and then she teleports back into the present time. I thought she was stuck here for her whole life, but no, she can go back and forth into timelines, which I thought was kind of sick. So I don't really know what the trigger is, but that adds like a whole nother layer to this anime, pun intended. Also, after that, there's a Demon Sword Master of Excalibur Academy. I think the story is okay. Like, they're kind of cooking. Like, a lot of characters have, like, some tragic backstory. Like, they were getting killed by all these monsters. Like, their parents died and stuff. And then these girls, these waifus, are trying to fight back against the monsters. It was just, like, very well done. So, yeah, after they hang out in the school, I think the main thing is that Roselia, she realizes that she is dead. And she has to kind of suck on the demon guy's blood. So, yeah, that kind of gives them an excuse to, like, be naked together, suck each other's blood. But, yeah, it's kind of insane because the fact that she realizes she's dead, I wonder what's gonna happen. Like, this is gonna have big, like, consequences, implications. So I guess we'll see what's gonna happen. This anime is definitely very degenerate. The story is a bit generic. Environment, like, who cares? Another fantasy show, but there's something there, so I'm gonna watch a few more episodes. And then after that, we got Shangri-La Frontier episode 3. I really love this anime. It's kind of insane. It looks really good, doing this kind of VR MMO style, but it doesn't feel generic. They're like literally explaining all the details of the game, making it very immersive, and I like how hard they go on it. So yeah, our main character, Son Raku, he has like the blue mask. He's fighting like this legendary raid boss monster that no one has ever killed. Like this game is 1 year old. No one has ever beaten this dude. So it's like this giant wolf. Our dude Sunraku, he has experience though. So he's like, yeah, this dude can one-shot me, but I can parry him. So he's actually doing pretty well, but as you expect, he cannot kill this guy. Way too strong. So I liked it. He had to just do perfect parries and everything, but he still can't beat him. So yeah, he dies. And he's also cursed. So there's so many mechanics here. I kind of love it. One of the other funny parts of the anime is that like his classmate, it's like the girl that really likes him, but she doesn't have the confidence to talk to him. She's actually like really buff in this game. She's like this giant, huge knight just like searching for him. But he's just like running off, chasing monsters and like skipping ahead progression. So she can't really track him down yet. But yeah, that was really funny. I don't know if she like grinded so much for a whole year, or maybe she's like pay to win to get like this powerful, but yeah, I guess we'll see. So yeah, a lot of unique stuff. The anime's very funny, high quality, and I'm actually so immersed in the game mechanics, all these details they're putting. And yeah, that is it for the animes this week. Thank you for watching. Another week down. This anime season is just starting. So yeah, a lot of cool episodes, good action scenes, good story progressions. Jujutsu Kaisen continues to impress. This anime's been so good. Frieren as well, like this anime's so rewarding. I love it. I love the journey so far. And all these other shows go on, cool stories. So yeah, that is it for the animes this week. Thank you for watching.